Climate change and energy policy again dominated federal parliament, where our government showed it's got net zero idea of the issues at stake. I mean, have a listen to this from the Treasurer as he slams the Liberals for daring to even consider dropping the net zero by 2050 target.
This is the economic insanity that those opposite look likely to adopt, Mr Speaker. What they are proposing is absolutely insane.
Well, might he raise the issue of insanity, because spending trillions of dollars on net zero, sending electricity prices to record highs, undermining energy security and sending jobs and investment offshore to aim for a target that will not be achieved and that will not make any difference to the environment or the climate anyway, well, that is literally insane. Huge economic and social and environmental costs, with vast areas of countryside and bushland defiled by renewable projects and transmission lines, all these costs for no discernible gain. Now that is madness, turning an energy-rich nation into an energy basket case while we export coal, gas and uranium for other nations to prosper. Now that is madness. I'll tell you what else is crazy, and that is bidding to host the world's largest annual climate change gabfest, the United Nations Conference of Parties, or COP. Brazil is hosting COP30 next week.
O Brasil está pronto.
Belém
está pronta.
O Brasil está pronto.
O Brasil está pronto.
Belém também está pronta.
Belém is getting ready. Ready to welcome ideas, cultures and solutions.
Yeah, they're ready in Brazil to welcome tens of thousands of delegates in Belém, where apparently they'll do more than just talk.
This is not just any COP. COP30 is a COP of action. A COP focused on implementation. From local voices to global leadership, Brazil is ready to host COP30 and inspire climate action worldwide.
Cop that. Well, Australians are expected to cop it. The Albanese Labor government wants to host the next one next year. But even still, our Prime Minister isn't likely to turn up in Brazil.
We are advocating to host COP at the end of next year. We're working through those issues.
So you won't be attending?
No, I didn't say that. I very clearly didn't say that. We're working through those issues. We'll be a representative. I've said I'm certainly prepared to travel, including to Belém, if that makes a difference. But if there's not an agreement, then the default is that the COP will be held in Bonn. That's the way the rules have been written.
Make of that what you will, but as of the weekend, the Prime Minister was still talking up his hopes of hosting COP31.
You still hopeful?
So,
holding out.
Indeed, and we are engaging with the Pacific. We want to make sure that their interests are protected in this as well, because they're particularly vulnerable for climate change. For them, countries like Tuvalu and Kiribati, this is an existential threat to their very existence. Which is why this is such a strong issue in our region, and why Australia will continue to act on climate change, because it is in our national interest.
An existential threat to their very existence. There we go with that unfounded climate alarmism again, citing existential threats for islands that are growing. But my point here is, what about the financial cost? The Australian Financial Review reports the total cost of COP31, if it's held here, will top $1 billion. The cost of hosting the climate summit in Adelaide would be at least $1 billion, according to the Albanese government's own estimates, further fueling the mixed views within the Cabinet about the desirability of securing the event, reported the AFR. Well, I guess it's a relief to know that someone in Cabinet opposes this, but whoever it is, they're not winning, because the government is serious. It wants to spend $1 billion to bring 40,000 or more bureaucrats and politicians and climate rent seekers to Adelaide.
We are South Australia. We're not waiting for the world. We're leading it. Leading with wind, leading with solar, leading with batteries, leading with hydrogen. In less than 2 decades, we've gone from 1% renewables to 75%, the highest proportion of variable renewable energy penetration in the world.
Yeah, that little spiel forgot to mention South Australia is leading the world with some of the world's most expensive electricity, certainly the most costly in the nation. Nor did they mention the first statewide power blackouts in the state's history. And neither did the video mention the green hydrogen plants falling over or the bailouts for refineries and steelworks crippled by energy costs in South Australia. South Australia is all in on the climate talkfest. It doesn't want to focus on its electricity record or the costs of the event or the huge carbon footprint of flying everyone in. They just want to focus on all the climate and energy fun.
We have the perfect capital city for one of the biggest international conferences in the world, COP. Big enough to welcome the world, small enough to walk around. With capacity to host 40,000 attendees here to tackle one of the world's biggest challenges, climate change.
Now, I love Adelaide, my old hometown. Go for the footy, go for the cricket, but this is a crock, a waste of taxpayers' money on a grand scale. For the cost of this conference, they could build a large gas-fired generation plant in South Australia and another one in Victoria as well to buttress our national electricity grid, which is in a shambles thanks to the renewables push. But no, your governments, the state Labor government and the Albanese federal Labor government, would prefer to spend $1 billion on hot air.
The Pacific has strongly supported our bid, working on the opportunities of selling Australia's renewable energy potential, the world's largest trades fair. This is the opportunity for our country. That's what I'm focused on.
Some opportunity, an opportunity to spend a fortune and make ourselves look like fools. We should know whether or not Adelaide and Australia gets this in the next week or two. They effectively need Turkey to withdraw. Otherwise, both Australia and Turkey miss out, and Germany, the city of Bonn, will host it. If Australia doesn't get it, taxpayers will have dodged a $1 billion bullet. But I kind of want to see it happen. I want the hypocrisy and indulgence to be there on display for everyone to see. And I hope Adelaide gets hit by a heatwave while it's on, because its renewables won't be able to cope with the energy demand. Mind you, they'd probably blame the weather on climate change anyway.